Hello, welcome to DISCERN. I'm Mark Matthews, and joining us today is Nick Pitts from the Institute of Global Engagement. Nick, how are you, sir?
So good to be with you, Mark. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to talk today and over the next few days about a topic that is near and dear to all of our hearts, COVID-19. It is the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, here we are 2 years in to the pandemic. We're seeing national, local, global case counts hitting their all-time highs. We've got Ross and Jess, DISCERN hosts that are out. So that's why I'm, third up on the list here. It seems to continue to invade our lives. And Dr. Fauci just said the other day that virtually everyone is going to get COVID at some point with this new Omicron variant. It just seems to be everywhere. So, here we are, the twists and turns. Nick, what would you say as you kind of reflect back on things? What do you think is most going to stick with us in this pandemic?
Well, I can tell you personally, I think all of us are going to be hearkening back to our middle school days when we think about COVID, because we all got acquainted with the concept that's known as maskne. It's wearing the mask, and then because you're wearing the mask for so long, you're getting acne and pimples. And so it's hearkening back to our middle school days. But in all seriousness, it's just absolutely tragic what it still continues to do. The numbers, the hospitalization rates are upwards of 150,000 right now. 90% of Americans say they know someone that has contracted COVID. 1 out of 3 Americans know a family member or a close friend who's died from COVID. But I think what I would really hone in on when I'm thinking about the pandemic is just the reality of what's known in sociology circles as loss aversion theory. It says loss aversion theory essentially says that it's what loss is twice as powerful as the pleasure of gain. And so we're all being keenly aware of just the stinging power of what's been taken away from us, our ordinary, normal life of 2019 and before. David Brooks in the New York Times, probably about a year ago, captured this well. He says that we're all keenly aware of the absences of joys more than the blows to our freedoms. We just miss gathering together without the lingering fear that someone is carrying or could be spreading the virus. We miss going out to meals. We miss just the gathering together, essentially. And so I think one of the things that I'll take from just these past 2 years, these parenthetical 2 years in the grand story of our lives, is going to be a greater appreciation for those little things that mean so much to life.
Yeah, that loss aversion theory, that's incredible. It reminds me from a sports standpoint, you hear coaches all the time talking about the pain of a loss is so much greater than the joy of a win. And I haven't heard that phrase before, but that totally makes sense. And thinking, again, back to personal situations of kids' birthday parties being canceled or postponed, or trips being canceled or postponed. I have a friend right now, literally right now, trying to get on a plane to Hawaii for a work conference. Everything's up in the air. Is his test documentation correct? There's private entities and government entities, and they all have their own processes and procedures, and so there's a chance that he may land in Hawaii and be quarantining for 10 days, stuck behind a hotel door. So the fact that this virus that came halfway around the world 2 years ago continues to permeate every single aspect of our life is incredible. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of September 11th and how that moment changed the fabric of the country, changed the fabric of the world, and things, as simple as travel and how, increased security measures and things like that at the airport, all the way to security issues and how data is being controlled. And it's fascinating how something like this can change the direction of individuals and where we live forever.
It's a global pandemic that has irrevocably changed so much of how we live our life and how we view our life. But one of the key aspects I think all of us are going to be able to take away from these past 2 years moving forward is this concept and this idea that was popularized by Winston Churchill. He says that we haven't made it this far because we're made of hard sugar candy. The resilience and adaptability of the American experiment to continue to try to press in and to live our lives has just been remarkable. We've seen just the different ways individuals are gathering together while trying to keep safe. We've seen the different ways that vacations are continuing to move on. We've seen restaurants adapt new ways of being able to continue to serve customers, whether it's in their homes or outside or even inside their restaurants. The adaptability and the resiliency of the American spirit is one of the distinguishing factors before the pandemic, and it's just been illuminated all the more because of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, I look forward to talking to you over these next few days about more specific topics related to COVID, and hopefully we won't have audience COVID fatigue, but everybody's talking about it, so we might as well too. So I appreciate it, Nick. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us here on DISCERN.